good evening, and welcome to Science and Sorcery, where your dungeon master is clairvoyant and knew that Alex was going to be the one to say something that made us all laugh right before we went live, despite Alex's objections. You are joining us here on Science and Sorcery. It's been too long since we've been live, given we pre-recorded last week. But we're here again to continue with episode 26 of Witness to a Ruin with my lovely players, Rachel Williams, Khalil Thurlaway, Sam Langford, and Alex Holt. We've got a couple of announcements, really only, two announcements, actually, exactly, before we're just going to get straight into the story. The first is that on Friday, you can join me and a fantastic cast of players and Game Master Nick Monroe-Turner for the Science and Sorcery debut of Rogue Octopus Escapes, a game created by Nick. Very excited to play this. It's going to be lots of fun. I get to play an octopus. I haven't thought about octopuses in a while. It's going to be great. So that's this Friday, upcoming at 7 p.m. UK time. So do please come and join and come along for that. Whatever happens, as we, I believe, are probably going to escape some kind of spaceship? Question mark? We'll find out. Right. I can't breathe today, so I might choke on my own oxygen at some point, but that's okay.
If the DM passes out, players win. That's the rules.
Yeah. If you die, we will not stop streaming.
Also, if you die in the game, you die in real life.
That's pretty harsh on the Dungeon Master.
DM, I think that is true. If I personify myself with a DM PC, then I deserve to die.
Or just like a random villager.
Actually, we have 3 announcements. I've just realized there's one which we all forgot about. We're trying to reach 420 Twitch followers, and Khalil has promised to run a one-shot if and when that happens. So get your friends to sign up. So Khalil is forced to join us for more crazy stuff. Our third and most important announcement is that the Tiltify supporting Palestine Children's Relief Fund is still up and running. So please, if you've got some money, please donate. Sam, are there still spots for your game that you're going to DM?
Yes, it's still going.
That's still going. Alex might still be doing art, I believe. So if you want some portraits, or you can help me make an NPC that might make these players' lives very difficult, although they're very good at doing that on their own. So that is the announcements. Please go over to the Tiltify campaign if you can. And now this always feels weird because as soon as we plug the fundraiser, we immediately go into plugging our lovely sponsors, who are the fantastic Valkyrie RPG. And now Khalil has informed us that his dice are still being held hostage in Manchester, Liverpool, Croydon, same thing. I've been to England maybe 6 times. But Khalil's lovely complimentary set of Valkyrie RPG dice, which we've all received in their fantastic Valkyrie RPG dice bag, which Khalil is showing you the blurry version of.
There. It comes with its own little lingerie.
It does. Very sexy. And so Khalil no longer has to roll in a virtual dice roller like a pleb.
Oh, I mean, I wasn't going to put a class angle on it, but some kind of animal. But these are absolutely gorgeous. They are a turquoise and black glittery set. The glitter isn't coming across in the webcam, but it makes me feel like they roll better. Although, my beautiful backgammon board. My beautiful backgammon board dice tray is still in Croydon with my dice, so I am using a ramekin to roll my dice in. So I don't feel 100% legit.
Oh dear. Also, if you think your dice are gonna roll well, that's great news for me because I have the exact same set.
Oh, cool.
So,
yay! I'm gonna roll exactly the same number against each other every time.
Yes.
Right.
Speaking of dice trays, keep an eye out on the. What if you've rebranded, Sam?
We are the Winking Gnome now.
The Winking Gnome.
Yes.
As there might be some dice trays in their future, and you can get your own very handmade quilted dice trays. But they're not live yet, so we'll announce if and when that happens. This has become more than 2 announcements.
It's just an announcement.
Shouldn't put numbers on things. Right. But that was the last of the announcements. No, it wasn't. Use code Science Sorcery for 30% off at Valkyrie RPG. I should probably mention there's a code. Now we're done. And we can move on to actual playing some Dungeons and Dragons. So what happened last time? The intrepid adventurers, teenagers, attractants of chaos and misery, Emerald, Nimbo, Blurta, and Macallan, Muck, continued their journey by boat with the esteemed Captain Oliver, who is somewhat of a criminal and definitely a stoner. They narrowly survived a fight against an army of Sahagwin, who summoned spectral sharks that trapped 3 of the party while knocking the 4th, Blurta, off the boat and out into the water unconscious. But thankfully, they managed to turn things around. They're all still alive. And then, of course, immediately after this fight, they ran into some hags, who Blurta, perhaps not so intelligently, asked, "What is it we can do for you?" Or something along those terms, which gave the hags carte blanche for making a deal. And this resulted in the lovely Goody Two-Shoes cleric Nimbo Thunderchild offering to bring a lycanthrope to the hags within a week, and otherwise the hags will kill them all. This has earned Nimbo a somewhat cold shoulder from one of his gods, and we will see what happens there. But the party made their way to the city of Elmsford, where Emerald grew up, settled into an inn, and have plans to visit Emerald's grandmother in the morning before settling out to find more information on the fissure, or possibly to hunt down those who wish to hunt Em.
Nimbo, just to think. Do we know if you can transfer your curse to animals? Because you could just make a chicken into a werebear and give them that.
Honestly, I didn't know much about lycanthropy before all of this, and I don't know that much more now. Also, the one person I feel like I can always go to for advice isn't really talking to me at the moment. I'm used to quiet from Varia, but Vias is normally a bit more gregarious.
You can talk to us whenever you need.
Thanks. Do you guys know about lycanthropy?
Maybe.
Well, I do have a...
Can I just make an Arcana roll?
Yes, you can. M is allowed to make them an advantage because M has a book detailing a lot of information about lycanthropy.
Yeah, I do not know about lycanthropy.
No, that is it's a difficult DC as well. It's not very common. But M's got a book which should lower the DC as well as giving you advantage on it. So
I rolled a 25.
Yes, there we go. Yeah. M, you've not read all of the sections of the Diaries of Casimir Crowrun, which you got from the Dread Hollow, but you've read the sections that pertained to blood hunting in particular. And there is a whole section on how to use the Curse of Lycanthropy to fuel those blood hunter abilities. With that comes as well increased knowledge of how lycanthropy came about. It appears to have at some point been it initiated as a curse, but seems to have had a divine influence at some point. And this is something, Nimbo, you did at one point ask Vias if Vias knew anything about lycanthropy. And it seems that Vias may have had something to do with sort of taming the really wild side, the really dangerous side of it. So it is controllable, except at certain times of year, generally around full moons. But it takes getting used to if you don't already understand the gift of blood hunting, which you do. Instead, Nimbo is struggling a little bit more with turning, needing to make some pretty high wisdom saves in order to turn accurately.
I have a question.
Is there anything in particular you want to know?
I was mainly going to ask, when's the next full moon?
Okay. Let me check my calendar real quick because we do actually have one.
So while Dagmar is doing paperwork, Sam, how much of what God just relayed to you do you share with Nimbo?
I feel like I would be as honest as I possibly could about what I knew. I realise it's a bit of a difficult situation for us to all be in, so it's important that we all know what we need.
So, how does the transference work? Like, is what we need to know potentially? Like,
go ahead.
So, like, can animals can rape be? How hard is it to transfer it, and do you have to do it a special way? Which didn't seem to be the case, as given how Nimbo got it, but
yeah. So first of all, the next full moon is in a little over a week. So it doesn't align perfectly with the date you're meeting the hags, but maybe like 9 days from now. So how it is transmitted? It is transmitted through a bite by a shifted were creature. So Nimbo was bitten by a werebear. It requires, mechanically speaking, a DC 14 Constitution saving throw, or you gain the curse. There's nothing written about it being transferred to animals. Doesn't seem to have been an experiment Casimir was particularly interested in. There are records of, as well as werewolves and werebears. He's mentioned were-tigers, were-boars, and were-eagles. So
is that ghouls? Were-ghouls?
What did I say? Were-eagles.
Boars, tigers, and eagles. Yeah.
Eagles, yes.
a were-gull.
Were-ghouls would be terrifying.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a were-ghoul
Just-
or a were-gull?
Were-ghoul.
Ghoul, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like, oh my god, it's after my chips at the full moon.
Seagulls
There
are
is
dead.
also actually, there is a single note, but it's just written in the margins that just says were-raccoon ?
Oh god, that's just a rabid raccoon. That's all that is.
Well, you did meet some really large, very angry raccoons in the
We
swamp, so that
did.
could very well have been what Casimir was referring
And none
to.
of us got bitten.
None of you did
No.
get bitten by those. That's true. They mostly clawed at you.
Damn, let's go back.
Okay.
The only
I
other
will
thing
pass
that is
along.
worth mentioning is that their were creatures possess a kind of bloodlust. If they start their turn with fewer hit points than half their hit point maximum, they have to make a DC 8 wisdom save or attack the nearest creature to them, even if it is an ally.
That's
wow.
DC 8, you said.
That's good to know because
DC8. We forgot that last session. It's fine.
Well, I don't think I was shifted, was I?
Oh no, it is only if you're shifted. Yeah, no, you hadn't shifted. You did shift later, but it was only when you encountered the hags.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's all pretty intense, but you know what they say, knowledge and understanding can be power. So, we met one lycanthrope that was hunting you
Yeah.
down in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you
And
think maybe there could be another up here?
I mean, where there's one, there'll be another, I'm sure.
So, Dagmar, so we have arrived in Elmsford, and did we rest?
So you arrived right as it was basically midnight. So this would be a conversation you're having the next morning, basically. So yes, you've long rested.
Okay.
I seem to recall we ended last session deciding whether we were going to stay at the grandma's or at the pub.
We decided not to go to my grandma's because we're going to visit, but we're not going to stay there.
Yeah.
Because we think that's too risky.
Okay, so we haven't rested yet.
No. So
Okay.
you're currently staying in an inn called the Old Jester, with the old spelled the olden timey way. Ye oldie. This inn is, you would know this, is located in a part of the city called Spirit Valley, which is renowned for not its ghosts, but its distilleries.
For its what, sorry?
Ghost
Distilleries.
Distilleries.
Distilleries, yes.
Okay.
No ghosts, just
I thought you said
alcohol.
ghost stories.
No.
Okay.
I can't speak today, as I'm sorry.
Right. Well, do we want to make a plan this evening before we go to bed and then know what we're doing in the morning, or do we want to just rest, visit my grandma, and then after we've had that conversation, we'll know what we want to do?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Are we in the bar at the minute? Sorry.
You would have been able to go up to your rooms if you wanted to.
Yeah, no.
It's late enough that the bar staff's kind of like, can you please? Like, we're not really going to be serving you anymore.
Okay, it was more that I wanted to know if there was anyone else there and kind of inside it. That's
No,
fine.
it was pretty empty when you arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's check in. Let's check in with family, because we don't want to go off all half-cocked and end up putting them in danger, or us in any unnecessary danger.
No,
Like we said,
agreed.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah, agreed.
And honestly, I'm not feeling like I'm in a state to make any kind of plan right now. I need to sleep on this. I think I might have fucked up today.
No,
And I don't mean by lightning bolting the boat.
No, you mean with the hags? There's.
Yeah, Vias wasn't super happy with that one, I don't think. I tried to reach out to him for advice and for solace, and she kind of left me on red.
Well, well, fuck Vias. You had no choice.
There's always a choice.
Well, the other choice was death.
There's always a choice.
Well, I think you made the right one, even if they don't.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
And we'll figure it out. We'll prove to them that you're strong enough to get through it, which we all know.
Yeah, and we're strong enough, you know. But
yeah,
together we're so much stronger than we are individually. I mean, individually we're pretty impressive as well. But those hags scared me. Like on a visceral, like, you know, we've been in danger before, but there's just something about the way that they seem so confident, like they know the outcome before it even starts. Like that, like we're just pawns. Like I'm fine having a bit of blind faith, but that felt like disempowerment. That was creepy.
I think the thing with hags is they are creatures of story. Like they are in stories, obviously, but they almost like they kind of shift the flow of stories around themselves to make it as interesting for themselves as possible. And I think that kind of leads to that feeling that you're describing.
Yeah, you might have a point.
Well,
Well, everything always makes a bit of sense after a good night's sleep, right? So
yeah. Let's all try and get as much rest as we can.
Right.
Yeah.
You've got you could have either picked one room to fit all of you or two rooms with two beds each. But regardless of that configuration, the beds are comfortable, and you all manage to sleep as restfully as you can. WtR, are you sleeping in a bed or are you going into your pocket dimension?
I prodded the bed to see how comfortable / itchy it looks.
It's fine. It's not fancy, but it's also, there's no bed bugs. It's there's no straw sticking out of the mattress or anything. It's not too lumpy.
I'll sleep in the bed, just
Okay, yeah.
on the off chance we need to blow something up.
Fair enough. Right, in that case, you, Muck, you sleep peacefully. Nimbo, you sleep as restfully as you can, given Vias's disappointment.
Yeah, before I go to bed, I will cast Calm Emotions on myself with my last spell slot, just so that I have a little window of a clear head. Hopefully, I'll manage to get to sleep before the spell ends, and kind of just like dovetail the two.
This is your cognitive shuffling, but via a spell.
Yeah. As someone with ADHD, a lot of stress and insomnia, I know what it's like to try to go to sleep with a busy head.
Yeah. Well, the calm emotions definitely helps you to drift off. And your dreams are, you don't remember all of them, but you know that you dreamt. And in the dreams, what you recall is the scent of honeysuckle and a face. You can't quite grasp what it looked like, but as it moved, as it spoke to you, it shifted, almost like shadows dancing across its face, from light to dark, and back again. When you awaken, you feel something pinning you down on your chest, and something on each of your legs. As you struggle briefly, the three cats lift off, and it's difficult to tell because you can only really feel them when they're close to you, but seem to be restless, darting around more than usual.
What's wrong?
No response.
Do I get any idea of them leaving or going anywhere?
No.
Or...
No, nothing in particular. Just they seem to brush up against you more often. And you know when a cat gets the zoomies? They just sort of run around rapidly. It's almost like that, except you can't actually tell where they are because they're invisible and spiritual.
I need to try and get some rest. Can you all please just calm down? I know it's not the place we want to be.
Oh, this is in the morning. This is when you wake up in the morning. They're restless. Yeah.
There's not a way for us to start the day. Calm.
How recently have you knocked something over?
A couple of days ago.
That was in the magic shop. I think I broke something.
Like 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah. And it's a week, I believe.
Yeah. So it's not. It's not that. I think. Can M make any sort of
Arcana check?
Arcana check or insight check to see
this would be Arcana because it's a magic item that the cats originate from.
Because I'm a magic user, and that is 15.
15. So you don't know the origin of this ring. You found it somewhere, and it just seemed to stand out to you. It's possible that the cats are getting restless because the point of their origin, the point of their creation, is closer. And they are somehow bound to this ring. They could be restless because the source of their binding is near.
Do you want to go there? Do you not want to go there? Give me a sign. If you want to go there, scratch my leg.
You feel sharp claws digging into your legs, 6 of them.
Message well and truly received. Okay, we'll try, but I can't. I have a lot going on. Is this really the best way to spend and use our time? Is it important? Scratch again.
They dig their claws in harder.
Right, thanks. Is it life or death?
Claws let up, but they don't leave your legs. They seem to be unsure of how to answer this question.
Laceration Morse code.
Are you in danger? Scratch once. Am I in danger? Scratch twice.
No scratching.
Okay, well, it's in here. I'll remember. But for now, I want to see my grandma.
No response.
Cool.
So instead of Morse code, it's pause code because they got paused. Anyway, yeah, thank you. Let's continue.
Wonderful. Yeah. Easily done. You are currently you are in the Spirit Valley at the moment, which is on the west side of town. So you make your way out of the Old Jester and head through the district of Old Elmsford, filled with extravagant mansions, wealthier shops, and several massive temples. You recognize as you pass them a massive temple to Varea, but also equally large temples to Chorus, the god of the home, Havel, goddess of trade. And interestingly, because outside of the Golden Isle, you don't see temples to her often, a building that from the distance looks as if it is crumbling apart until you approach it and realize that it is the stonework itself. Stones are hewn in such a way to make it look as if they are crumbling, but the foundations are in fact very strong. This is a temple to Chaos, the goddess of destruction, sitting in the large square opposite the temple of Varea.
I know we're on a family visit mission, but do you mind if I make one stop? Maybe 2 quick ones.
My grandma's not going anywhere.
I had a strange flicker of something last night in my dreams, and something that I don't want to name yet in case I'm wishing for too much. But gotta do this. So I will guide myself, which I guess is I'm flavoring as me kind of just getting into a really kind of religiously in tune mindset. And I'll head into the Temple of Varea. And I'll, I Nimbo doesn't look like he's kind of consciously breaking away from the group, but he's also not necessarily waiting for anyone to follow.
Yeah. It's not too late in the morning, and the temple is relatively busy. There seem to be quite a few priests and priestesses going about their daily duties, but also a fair amount of visitors. Some of them speaking in languages and accents which you don't fully understand, seem to be traders who have come in from the neighboring lands, making their offerings, some of them bartering with a priestess who seems to be in charge of at least the purse strings, if nothing else. And there is at the front an altar and a familiar statue similar to the one in the temple on the Golden Isle, of a woman clad entirely in black and white robes.
Varela lives in Berlin. Normally I'd be super excited to get to know fellow devotees and to talk shop. But I've got one thing on my mind. I'm gonna beeline straight to the altar. And did you say the statue is sitting?
No, standing.
Standing. Then I will stand. But like in the exact same pose as the statue, facing it.
Okay, that's quite funny because her arms are spread wide as if welcoming everyone into the temple. So you're essentially T-posing.
Yeah. I will go to the foot of the statue or as close as I can.
Yeah, you can go right
T-pose.
up. Yes.
I guess
I think.
I guess it's the Dark Souls greet the sun, you know.
I think also Muck is like wants to learn a little bit from Nimbo of how to like actually commune with your god, because she's still kind of getting used to it. So she's gonna go and probably just like sit in the back, not intrude at all, but just wants to, maybe take a few notes.
Yeah. It's not like a church. There's not like pews necessarily, but there is seating. Marble stone benches that are actually not too uncomfortable. They seem to be heated somehow, so it's not like cold stone.
So after arriving and T-posing to mirror the goddess of balance, I'll then kind of fold down into cross-legged in that kind of very neat way where someone who's very practiced in getting up and down from cross-legged doesn't need to use their hands to get up and down. It's all just legs and core. And I will start breathing in and out and focusing on the circular nature of that, the reciprocal nature of that, the difference in feeling of like hot and like the kind of the warmth of my breath versus the coldness of the air in the room and the stone under my bum, and really try to in this kind of second holiest of Varela places that I've ever been in, to try and connect. And I'm focusing on that face that I saw last night, the face that mirrors the face that's. Oh, okay. I can't recall exactly what it looks like. You can't
recall it.
I'm looking at this statue and I'm like, it's ringing a real bell.
Yeah. Can you make me a religion check, please? You can use your guidance.
Valkyrie, come on. I'm grateful for the dice, but religion, you say?
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be a 9.
Now, the issue here isn't necessarily Nimbo. It's that Varela has been quiet since the earthquake. You've not heard much from her. And this continues here, as much as you hope and assume and wish that the face you saw in your dreams was hers. There is no indication at the moment that this is correct, except for your own belief therein. One of the priests comes and, after mimicking the same pose as you, comes and sits down next to you, starts tending a small fire lit at Varaya's feet.
Nimbo is honestly meditating too hard at this point.
Yeah.
He's like, brow is furrowed and like,
yeah,
you can't tell whether it's like sweat or like a little bit of a tear. But there's a sheen on him.
This elderly half-orc reaches one hand out and just sort of smooths out the furrows in your brow and wipes away the sweat or the tear. You don't have to try so hard, youngling. Gods will speak when it is time.
Yeah, I guess I've been trying so hard recently at everything. It's hard to get out of that mode, you know?
Yes, I do. But that will come with age. The youth always think they have to fix everything themselves.
I mean, in this rather specific case, that might be truer than you think. But I understand the sentiment.
You're not alone. You're never alone. He looks, his eyes glance backward at where Muck is sitting. Em and Blurta as well, if you joined in the temple. I don't just mean your friends. She's been quiet for us all. She will speak again.
I know I need to have faith, but sometimes when I don't feel, sometimes I don't feel like I live up to what they want, what Varaya wants, what Bias wants. I also, devoted to Bias as well. And I feel like I've been disappointing them, and it's hard to keep faith when I don't feel like I have faith in myself.
Your friends have faith in you. And the gods are hard to please sometimes.
How do you do it?
I do what I think is right. And when I regret my actions, I do what I can to make things right again. And I ask for forgiveness when appropriate. Not only of the gods, but of my fellow people as well.
Thank you. That has gone some way to making things clearer, restoring a little bit of my equilibrium.
Give yourself time as well.
I knew this was the right choice.
It is.
Nimbo.
Come back as
Nimbo
often as
Thunderchild.
you want. Nimbo. My name's Merton.
Merton.
Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you. I'm very grateful.
Of course. You come back as often as you need. And if you wish to commune with Vias more closely, there's a large temple a couple of days' journeys up into the mountain.
Oh, a little bit of mountaineering and tourism never did anyone any harm, right?
Just be careful on the roads.
Yeah. Been there. Oh,
Sure.
May the balance guide you.
And you, my young apprentice. Where that was going. I don't know what's happening.
I'm gonna bow to the statue and then go back to my friends.
While
Martin stays at the front tending the fire.
Well, at least you guys will always talk to me, right? Single tear.
Mark like sneaks out the temple just behind Nimbo, just like playing it cool.
while that was all happening, can I have
Yeah.
just been watching the sort so it was like a what's the sort of like a market square type thing. This was coming up.
Yeah, there is a market square here. It seems to it's not very big. And it mostly seems to be like quite expensive jewelry, like handmade wares, artisanal stuff.
I mean, mostly I just wanted to be sort of like keeping an eye out to see if anyone was kind of stalking us or
Okay.
watching us disproportionately.
Right, make a perception check.
13.
13. No, not that you can tell. People seem to just be going about their business. You get a few like weird looks, but it's like nothing that you wouldn't get elsewhere because of the eye patch and the whole look.
Yeah. That's just regular weird looks, not
That's just that's nothing out of the ordinary.
Yes, the flashback to the present moment is like, we will always probably talk your ear off if you ask, so you don't have to worry about that.
Thanks, guys.
And I will even do you the greatest honor I can give you and refrain from blaspheming in this place.
You know what, Blurter? That's the sweetest thing you've ever said to me, and I really appreciate that.
We're friends. I can make small accommodations.
You're in some ways a wonderful person. And I really value you, all of you. I'll come back around. Just gotta take every day as we can, and maybe at some point my gods will talk to me again. I mean, I still care. I still care about balance. I still care about nature. They'll see it.
Okay, so at the risk of a lecture, so Varay is the goddess of balance, right? How do you measure balance in a divine context? Like, does Varay set the center point around which things are balanced?
There are elements to it that are objective, and there are elements to it that are subjective. Like, for example, when I call down a bolt of lightning to zap a tentacle or set our ship on fire.
Is that part of the balance? Like, you might put the tentacle on the ship?
Well, the lightning has no sentience and it has no preference, but it'll zap anything. And the magical energies that are used to generate that lightning, what they do is there is an inherent duality at the heart of everything. And in lightning magic, that is pulled in opposite directions. And you line up positive at one end and the negative at the other end. And then unleashing that balance, that's the energy flow from one to the other. Or when I heal you, that takes a certain amount of magical energy from me, and that energy is destroyed in me and created in your body, bringing you back from the brink of death. Now, the fact that it's channeled through divinity, means that it gets a little bit of an extra boost from across the astral gate. But, so it's not exactly a one-to-one. I don't need to be physically hurt to heal you, but it still takes something out.
As this is all going on, sitting on the ground, again playing with cups with Yarrow, and without looking up, will just say, I'm not a particularly religious person, but I do believe it's called the spirit level.
See, Nimbo,
What?
you're so God smart. Your gods will not ignore you forever, you know? Like, you're a big, like, 7-foot guy. You're hard to ignore. And I'm sure you got a 7-foot soul as well, okay? Keep it up, buddy. Cheer up.
Thanks. You've got a soul that's even bigger than your big muscly body.
Thank you.
I ship it. Platonically.
And we really need to get looking after your grandma. I'm worried. Like, if people are after you, like, they could be after her. Why would people be after you anyway? Like, you're such a sweetie.
I still don't have the answer to that question, but they won't be after my grandma. She can handle herself, and she doesn't look like me. They may not even make that connection.
When you say it doesn't look like you,
You'll see.
very cryptic.
Oh my God, is your grandma babe? Sam, you have to tell him.
You'll see through the astral plane. No, you.
No, I get it. Don't worry. One of my grandma's a little white lady, and my other grandma's a massive green lady. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's something like that.
All right, are we heading to
Alright, where are you
grandma's?
headed next?
I mean, it sounds like it.
I think it's time, yeah.
As we're
Mark's just
walking
very
along, we
quietly under her breath going, Grandma, Grandma, Grandma.
as we're walking along, I'll kind of sidle up to Em and be like, Em, how do you know so much about lycanthropy?
I found
That
a
was
book.
impressive.
Found a book in the library. Took a bit of a special interest, and it's kind of grown from there. And then we found Casimir Crowrun's diary, and there was a lot more information in there, and I'm taking it all in. It kind of calls to me, and I still don't know, but I feel like I need to know more about it. And so any opportunity to learn, I will. So I'm really
we've both gotta
excited
learn
to
more
find
about it.
someone. Yeah, we do.
So, yeah, I guess we can just help each other on that road.
Can you do me a favor
and
and
wait,
don't
what did you
mention
say
it to
about-
my grandma?
Absolutely not. Can we just circle back 1 second?
Mm-hmm.
You did say something about it calling to you. Is this something that everyone should know about?
No,
Or
no.
Is this going to be a safety issue?
No, not at all. I fully have it under control.
Also, I have a girlfriend.
Also, like, Casimir was my god's champion, so don't let it call to you too much, because I kind of got that covered, okay?
Noted.
Also, I get the impression that this was me just kind of like whispering to Em at the back, but
Oh. Muck hears everything.
I mean, Nimbo's not a subtle guy. Maybe he thinks he was whispering.
It's just as soon as Casimir's name is mentioned, like it all just beams the information directly into Muck's brain.
Yeah.
Blurth is just like listening in and picturing in her head, like at a full moon, that M just turns into like a skinny little human.
A were-twink.
Yeah.
Colin.
I have it under control. You don't need to worry. It's all good. It's fine.
Cool, I trust you. Let me know if I can help in any way. No?
Yeah, just be prepared for Grandma. You know how family are, and
Honestly, no, but we'll roll with it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that.
Oh no, it's fine. No, I grew up in a different sort of place.
Okay.
But I mean, can't be as weird as Muck's family, right?
Yeah.
And we haven't.
Yeah.
We haven't even met Blurs yet.
God forbid.
Yeah.
Oh dear. All right. Are you heading to? You're heading to Grandma's. So, your M's grandma, Muse, lives in. Where did my map go? Lives in the northern part, almost one of the last houses in the city, in an area called Glues there. This part of the city is very ordinary neighborhood, but as you're walking through it, the closer to the city center, the more gentrified it seems to be. The houses seem to be have much fresher paint, but all quite uniform. People are a little bit different than the ones you might remember seeing here when you were younger. It seems that there's a new bourgeois moving in to Glues there. But the part where your grandma lived hasn't been touched yet. And you see she lives in the end row, one of the last streets in Elmsford, with the wide mountain road stretching out in front. The house with its alpine rock garden out front, still well maintained, seemingly in better shape than all of the neighbors' gardens. And as soon as she spots you walking up the road, looking out through the still well-painted, well-maintained, lilac window, you can almost see her gasp and rush out through the front door. And Nimbo, Muck, and Blurta, you come face to face with Muse Warren, a lavender-colored tiefling, clearly quite elderly, but still sprightly, moving much more nimbly than she should at her age, as she flings herself at embracing you. Emerald, I didn't know you were going to be visiting. Oh, how lovely it is to see you. It's been far too long, dear. Far too long.
I didn't know I was going to be coming either. It's a surprise to me too, but it's great to see you. And I lean back into the hug really strongly.
Yeah. She's sort of patting you down, not to check your pockets, but just more to check that you're all there. She hugs you until you start to let go.
I don't.
Okay. She just stands there and looking over your shoulder. She is a bit taller than you. She sees the rest of you. Are you M's friends?
Yeah. Hi.
Oh.
I'm Nimbo.
Muck.
Blurta.
Lovely to meet you, lovely. And you can call me Granny Muse, or just Muse, or Mrs. Warren. It's Miss Warren. I was never married. Up to you, really. Now we'll feel free to go inside. Em and I will be along in a minute.
Thanks, Granny Warren.
Thank you, Grammy.
Can I just I want to do an insight, but not to that she's lying. I just want to see are there extra depths here that we're not getting on this initial?
The initial, yeah, make an insight check.
My insight is negative, so 10.
I can help. Can I?
Insight, unless you can make your own insight check if you want.
I mean, I was thinking about it before
Yeah.
Alex said it.
Yeah. Everyone can make insight checks. You might get different information out of it. So.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm just getting the bad rolls out of these Valkyrie dice.
I think
Cleansing the
I think it might be the ramekin that's doing this.
Yeah, what I need is a real quilted dice tray or my old backgammon board back.
I
But
think
yeah,
what it is that Khalil has got all the bad rolls from Valkyrie dice, so you, the buyers, will get all the good rolls.
this is the
Or-
sacrifice we put ourselves through for you.
Yeah.
His set and mine could be twins, and I have the good set.
Oh no, let's hope not.
Khalil has the evil.
So I just need to murder Dagmar's dice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um,
To restore balance.
No, they're in balance already. You just need to
Yeah,
swap them.
true. That would be a
Oh,
crime
yeah.
against Varela to
Yeah.
destroy one
mhm,
set.
mhm. Yeah.
We've had a hydration check, everyone, so make sure you're.
I've been drinking a lot of water. The reflection of the light onto Alex's glass made it look like you were just holding up a scalpel.
No, that's here.
Do not drink. I like to think that just below the camera, there is just a whole array of random objects just waiting for someone to mention.
I like to think that Alex is actually in an operating theater. I
I'm an
can't believe
artist.
I'm not the one who showed a knife for the first time on stream.
Yeah.
This was the first time someone showed a knife on stream, and it wasn't me.
Let's not show
That's all right.
more. I'll be against.
I think
Campbell
it's
Soup.
small enough. Yeah, I think it's small enough that it doesn't count against TOS, right?
No.
What were your
Just
Right,
didn't
rolls?
so we
expect you
do
to
it.
be armed. But that's fine.
Nimbo, well, your insight was bad.
Insight.
Oh yeah, it's 11.
Okay. Yeah, both of you, this seems to just be a very excited grandma who's seeing her grandchild for the first time in so long. And is generally seems to be like trusting enough of you as you're with them that she's just happy for you to go into her house.
Okay, as we go inside, I'm gonna respectfully snoop. I'm just gonna activate detect magic. I'm not gonna look in or under anything. I'm not gonna go into any weird rooms or anything. I'm just gonna walk in, activate detect magic, and sit down in an armchair. Well, if there's an armchair that looks like it will support my weight, sure. If not, cross-legged on the floor.
There are definitely armchairs. Actually, yeah, there would be one large enough that would fit you comfortably.
I will gently ease myself down into it, listening for any particularly loud creaks.
Seems to be. It
Okay,
creaks like a normal armchair creaks.
Okay, yeah, not like one about to collapse. I'll sit down in it and then I'll activate detect magic and I'll just kind of look around the room, just kind of casually taking things in.
There do appear to be some magical trinkets inside. There is a dishcloth hung over the back of a chair, which appears to have some kind of spell on it.
It's a holy avenger.
From the feeling of the detect magic that you get is similar to a prestidigitation spell. There is the fire is magically maintained. That is currently burning in the hearth. You could Blurta and Muck both light up like Christmas trees. And there is one other. There is a like decorative rock almost. It seems to be like a rough-hewn amethyst, possibly, that is radiating some kind of magic as well.
What school, if any?
Worst
Yep,
question
I
to
knew.
ask
That
a
one.
Yep.
I mean,
I should have.
It doesn't have to be the name of the school, just maybe the vibe, if that's easier.
Yeah, I mean, I do need to look up the item because I wasn't necessarily expecting you to. It
that's
seems to
on
be
you.
some kind. It is. I really should have expected. It seems to be some kind of abjuration magic, some kind of protective ward.
Nice. That makes Nimbo feel very comfortable. This is all adding up to the nice granny vibe.
Yes. Muck and Blurt, do you want to do anything in particular while Muse and Em are still outside?
Max just really excited to be in her friend's house, and it seems like her family is nice. Their family is nice, and everything's cozy. So it's just a very different experience for Mac.
What's the sort of impression we get of like the life this woman's led from her house?
Ooh, make me a perception check, please.
Written in blood on the wall is "Stop me before I kill again."
Like, oh, probably we didn't see that coming in.
Sorry,
I'm
Alex,
getting
what
a
did you
good
get?
vibe from this place.
14.
14, okay. Looking around, there appear to be, at first glance, it seems to be an ordinary sort of lower middle class house. There isn't an overly apparent like trade or anything that it looks like Muse practiced. So she might have been a shopkeeper or a clerk or something, but she doesn't seem to be a craftsperson or a butcher or anything like that. But there are a few things which look a little bit odd when you look over them more carefully. The decor seems to have skulls hidden around the place. Just, within the patterns of a blanket or the curtains. There's quite a lot of flowers and plants inside, and they are all growing incredibly well. Probably better than they should in the mountain climate. Those are, with a 14, that's probably the only bits you notice that seem to be disconnected from the rest.
Okay. We'll just bear this in mind for now.
Okay.
Do you point that out?
I
at all,
cannot
or
just-
do you keep that to yourself?
They're not in the room right now.
Nope.
I think yes. So, oh, look. What's with this old hidden motif going on?
Oh yeah, it's kind of nice, kind of goth vibe, goth granny.
That's
It's
a lot of
like
skulls.
tasteful. It's tasteful rather than gaudy, and it's only really noticeable after you stare at things for a while. It's almost got a bit of like an Art Deco vibe, but with like skulls and bones and things.
Oh man, stop describing my dream house.
Is there any kind? Are they like all the same skull? Like it's a sort of symbology, or just skulls?
There seem to be anatomically correct, but mostly animal skulls.
Okay. Interesting.
And notice, no, I'll share. There seems to be that gem up there. I think it's some kind of protective thing. So, I mean, I don't know exactly what it does, but it seems all right. It seems like a nice vibe. Can I, seeing these plants that have grown extra bushily, I'm still feeling a little bit needy, god-wise. So can I see if this place has any connection to Vias because of the nice plants?
Yeah. Make a religion check.
Okay. So last one was a natural 3. This one was the one before that was a natural 4. I've just dropped my dice on the floor, which is
It's gonna be a natural 4.
great news. Well, my floor is too messy. So if you just keep vamping for a bit, move on
Right.
to something else. and I'll get
We're
back.
gonna come back to what's happening indoors. Em, you are being hugged by your grandmother in her front lawn.
I don't think I want to let go. If I let go, then I might cry, and I don't think I want to do that.
Well, there's nothing wrong with crying.
I
I mean,
but-
your friends have gone inside. They won't be able to see.
I know, but I haven't seen you in a long time, and I want you to see that actually I'm a bit grown up now and a bit stronger, and
I can see that already. There's nothing wrong with. I mean, everyone occasionally needs to let everything go, and it's easier to do that if you're with someone you love.
I will let go, both physically and emotionally and just
Okay.
sob.
As you let go, she doesn't let up. Her arms tighten, and she just sort of stands there, rocking you gently back and forth.
I'm sorry I didn't come back sooner.
Oh, you've been busy with school, and it is a long trip, and not exactly flush with cash. So I know it's expensive to come back over. I'm only sorry I couldn't come visit as often as I would have liked.
Oh, you wouldn't have liked it there.
No, I'm not one for the city.
No.
This is already, well, you know, I kept saying if they build any more houses between me and the mountains, I'm just going to go walk off into them and not come back.
And I will join you.
Oh, you are always welcome to do that, little one.
How are the neighbours?
Oh, well, the Mitchells have moved out. There's a lovely new couple that's moved in next door, though. One of them's a local, the other one's from the Republic of Renau. So, been learning a little bit more about the wider world. Never managed to make it that far south in any of my travels. The couple across the street have had another baby. That's 6 at this point. But they're all healthy. They're doing well. The eldest is apprenticed at a local butcher now. It's very good. He's doing a good job. The old man, a few houses down, is still angry. My garden looks nicer than his.
He
But
just needs
you
to
know
get
what
better
he's
at
like.
it. He just needs to,
Oh
you know.
no, it's
try
not
harder.
his fault. No. That's nothing to do with how hard he tries, and it's entirely to do with what I'm capable of.
Well, you give him some tips.
I'm not sure he'd like the tip I'd have to give him, but well,
Shall we go inside?
you like
It's
it?
cold.
would you like a hot chocolate?
Do you have marshmallows?
Always.
Then
Do
yes.
your friends like hot chocolate? I will
I-
ask them. Come on, inside.
I don't know if they do. We've never had one together. Everyone likes that.
Oh, some people are allergic to milk. Some people are vegetarian, and you can't have marshmallows.
Yeah.
M gets ushered in by Muse, plopped down on one of the comfortable armchairs. Nimbo, you notice now, you were initially looking for a chair that would fit you. There's only one that would. Everything else seems to be made for more ordinarily sized people. Except for one, which seems to be made for smaller people. Right, everyone comfortable? I can bring out some more chairs. No? Hot chocolate?
Sounds good, thank you.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
please.
Yes, please.
Marshmallows?
Is there... Uh-huh.
Great. Back in a moment. Don't touch the amethyst.
Wouldn't
She
dream
points
of
up at the rock, which you'd noticed earlier, Nimbo.
Can I just whilst that before you go away, would M know what that's doing?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
It's a protective ward, kind of like a what's the spell called? The
Magic circle.
it's like a glyph of warning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's essentially a burglar alarm.
By the way, Deborah, I
and-
got a 19 on my religion check.
Amazing. Before we get to that, before I forget to say, the decor inside, everything is just as you remembered it. So the skulls are not out of place for you. This is just normal.
I love the
Um,
idea of 4 very hardened, slightly haggard teen adventurers who've seen some real shit over the past couple of weeks getting really excited about hot chocolate and just that childlike kind of innocence that still exists within all of us, essentially, at the sound of hot chocolate.
I think this would be a really fun scene to picture as a cartoon style drawing, like the one we have for the Flaming Heteros. just everyone excited about hot chocolates. But yeah, with your religion check, so you know that clerics and paladins of Vias would absolutely have the skills to make something like this happen, but there are no religious symbols anywhere in this house. And the magic, because it does seem to be a kind of magic, not one that's picked up by your detect magic spell. It seems to just be more like an undercurrent. It's more arcane than divine.
Okay. Nimbo's just kind of curious, but not necessarily put off by that.
Yeah. All right. Eventually, Muse returns with a tray with 5 months with hot chocolates, a bottle of rum, and a large tray of cakes and biscuits. And she sets it out on the coffee table.
I will take the marshmallow. Is there more than one in the mug?
There are several, yes.
I will take
They're like,
one
it's
out.
like piled high with marshmallows, and there's a little dish with extra marshmallows.
I will take one that's been in the chocolate and hand it to Yarrow and be like, "You've been very good recently," and hand it over.
Oh, I'm very glad Yarrow's still with you. That's very, very good to see. You look very well, Em. I mean, a little tired.
We've been on the road for a while now, and there's been.
Have you graduated?
We're working on it.
We're working. Yeah, it's
Work experience. I understand. Well, and
we get paid too, a little bit.
Oh, very good. I mean, as you should. As you should.
And M,
you've all been traveling together?
yeah, and M's been amazing. They've been so impressive, and you know, we've all been looking out for each other, keeping each other safe, keeping each other entertained, happy.
Also important.
Yeah.
And are you M's partner?
I guess we're all like kind of companions kind of thing.
Oh, how very, I mean, I'm very pleased for you, Em. Was worried you wouldn't find one person, now you found 3.
Blursa is like
no.
uncovered eyes just kind of twitching at this thought. But she's just like,
No, Grant.
I have hot chocolate. I'm just going to concentrate on that.
No.
I won't be mean.
No, Grandma. These are they're my friends. No more than that.
Well, like we're also adventuring companions.
Yeah,
but...
yeah. We're good friends, but that's as far as it goes.
I see. She looks at you, Muck, and winks.
What else?
Well,
This is too real. This is far too real.
Dagmar, have you met Sam's gran?
plot twist,
that is research.
Sam's gran.
Just have Mission Impossible
Skin
mask
suits.
off.
But we can get back to the more personal side of things later. What are you doing in Elsford? I assume you're not just visiting if you're on your work experience.
No.
Well, there is a shrine in the mountains. That could be what we're
Tobias.
visiting.
Well, it's a great place. Are you? Yes, I guess see the symbols now. Vias and Perea, very good combination. Lovely temple. Very nice.
Is it near Mount Ekru by any chance?
It's in Mount Ekru.
Huh? The
Did you
seal.
say Mount Ekru?
Yeah.
I assume Nimbo was talking about the shrine to Vias.
Yeah, but
it's on Mount Ekru.
Oh, okay.
Ekru
I'm
is a
thinking a
colour,
completely different
yes.
place.
That's okay.
Ignore
Yes.
me.
No, that's fine. Well, no, I'm afraid Mount Ekrich is across the border in Tilburg. I mean, I suppose it's all sort of to the northwest. Vaguely that direction.
What are borders anyway?
Well, in the mountains, they don't matter very much.
No, yeah, we're definitely not here for any reason that would be particularly dangerous. Right, Em?
Make a deception check.
M's gonna come right out and say it.
Okay, then don't make a deception check.
It wasn't that good anyway. It was a 12.
Okay. My Valkyrie dice beat your Valkyrie dice.
Grandma, you remember when we first met?
I'll never forget it.
The people I told you about?
Yes.
I think they might be back.
Well, that's not ideal.
No.
But it is not also entirely unexpected. People like that don't tend to let go of ideas once they have them.
No. You haven't.
You think they're up here still?
Well, the people who came after us came from up here. We got out of the city before they could find us again, but they did. They pinned us down in a... We were lucky to make it out.
Yeah.
But the four of us together can achieve anything.
I certainly believe that.
And that was when I really realised it that night. And so we're trying to figure out what's happening, as well as a lot of other, excuse my language, shit.
Things have been a bit odd since the earthquake. The most recent one. Things were also odd after the last one 30 years ago, but... Right, these people are haunting you. Tell me about them. Let's see if I can help.
Well, one of them has a strange affliction and are able to change themselves into something else. A beast of some sort. I don't know how it works.
Can I insight check why M is phrasing this so cagely?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. It'd just be that Sam has to explain instead of me, if you roll well.
15?
Sam, can you elucidate somewhat, but not necessarily everything?
I'm trying to hide that I know what they were and what they were doing, so as not to make too many connections that I have got similar paths.
Okay, fair enough.
A beast of some kind, you say?
Yeah.
I suppose that could be connected to what's been happening in Cold Sprawl. Cold Sprawl, Elmsford, is the last district of Elmsford that you haven't been to yet. It's the poor part of town. So houses a bit too close together. Not necessarily the best upkeep.
What's been happening in Cold Sprawl?
People have been going missing. And strange noises at night. I've got some friends who live down there. And people are getting a bit scared to leave their houses.
What sorts of noises?
Scratching. Things walking over rooftops. Howling in alleys. Not, we've got wolves and dogs and things like that occasionally. But not like that, apparently. Not heard them myself.
No signs of
I
anyone
know
who's
the,
gone missing.
I don't know anyone myself. I know the Crest Guard have been investigating. The office is still in the North Ward. Not sure who's running it now, but they'd probably be able to tell you more. Suppose I could introduce you to some of my friends who live in Cold Sprawl, but none of them knew any of the missing people themselves either. More, they heard of someone who went missing.
Well, part of our work experience is helping with the Crest Guard, so
I'm sure whoever the captain is will be happy to share that information with you.
When you say missing, do you mean like
Yes.
they are just like gone, or is there like a sign of struggle or anything?
Depends.
Okay.
Last I heard, there were maybe 8 missing. All sorts of folks. It's not just people who are always out late at night or only children or, something like that. Seems to be just whoever's unlucky.
As this conversation's been going on, just kind of subconsciously been picking up foam or cream from the hot chocolate and making little horns on the top of Yarrow's head.
Yarrow isn't tolerating this, but you can sense Yarrow's also like, can you please stop putting milk on me?
It's a good look. It's a good look. Well, maybe that's something we should all look at and maybe check out.
Definitely.
Sounds like a good lead, if anything.
And you said it was only one of the people. Is there the others? I mean, how many are there?
How many were left? Sam does not remember.
4.
Twins?
Monks, yeah.
The werebear, the twins, and you had a description of the beggar who went to the boat to tell the captain their services were no longer required.
And there's those people, but we also have some sort of reason to believe that this is connected to the mayor here.
I can't say I know very much about the man. I didn't vote for him. Baron Bellevue's, I heard he throws large parties. He's a bit eccentric. But his response to, the disappearances has been adequate for a politician. More than you'd expect, necessarily, from a nobleman who's not particularly invested in what happens to the poor.
Could all be for sure.
I never trust anything politicians tell me, so certainly.
I understand that.
When you say you didn't vote for him, was that just her being sarcastic that
No.
there is no election at all, or there is an election?
No, there was an election. She didn't vote.
Okay.
It's for all that Solar has sovereign, local government seems to be pretty democratic.
But he was just a member of the nobility who won an election.
Who ran for mayor? Yes.
Right. Okay.
There is, and Blurtup would probably at least be vaguely aware of this, even if you're not from a town. Anyone can run for mayor. It's just a matter of campaigning. So it tends to be the wealthy who actually have the ability to do it. But there's nothing stopping anyone who is an adult from running for mayor.
I think my dad probably ran for mayor once, but he was just really incompetent at it and somehow managed to lose despite having a lot more money.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, if you've ever seen...
Blurta's eldest brother absolutely would run for mayor one day. Or second oldest brother, sorry. The stuffy one.
Well,
I have a question. So there was the people, do you describe any of the people who were hunting you?
I guess so. Yeah, I think that's probably like. I don't think
there was the
M
wizard
fully
as well.
remembers. We killed the wizard.
Yeah, but
You killed the wizard, yeah.
Mhm.
You've got a
There
great
still might be a
description of
lead
the
there.
wizard, but he's dead. You also know
Muck
the wizard's
thinks-
identity.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Muck thinks your grandma's very awesome and will probably want to tell her everything,
Yeah,
but
in that
would
case,
be following your lead.
yeah, if you're
Nimbo's on a
happy
very
to-
similar
tricky.
vibe.
if you do start to describe with the others' help, the people who following you, so you describe the werebear. She looks confused, and then as you mentioned the beggar, well, I mean, I said they were lovely, but two of those people sound a lot like the new neighbors.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
as in the ones who moved into. I think you said the Mitchell's house.
Yes, they moved in a few months ago.
Did the Mitchells say goodbye? Or did they just...
Certain. I mean, they've moved a few roads down. I still see them occasionally.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Noting this down, like like Emma's noting this down. Talk to Mitchell.
Yeah.
Find out what happened.
I mean, I can't imagine why Katja and Missile would be. Oh,
So
I
what were
suppose
the names
they
of the
are
ones who moved
currently
to
out
next
of
door, sorry?
town. Katja and Missile.
They're the new people.
Yes.
Do you have much to do with them?
We said hello. I brought them around a casserole when they first moved in. Like I said, Katja's from the Republic of Renau, so she's not a local. I believe she's new to Solor, but Missile's been in the city for years. I think she's a bouncer.
Where?
So which ones do they sound like? Just to clarify.
The beggar and the
So
werebear, wasn't it?
Katja seems to be the werebear, and Missile seems to be the beggar.
Where was Catcher a bouncer?
No, Missile's the bouncer. I'm not sure what Katja does. I think I just various bars around town. I don't go out to the bars much. It's not really my scene. I'm sure if you ask around. I don't think she ever told me.
Yeah, thanks.
Have they ever asked about me?
I mean, I must have mentioned, my grandchild, but just said you were away at school. Never gave any they never asked.
Is your detect magic still up?
It's probably been more than 10 minutes.
Okay. I'm just like, perhaps we should just walk by their front door.
Oh, you already have?
Well, I meant with a sort of a slightly more alert eye.
I see. Of course. Well, I mean, they haven't come home yet. Where are
Okay.
you staying?
In town that I
Oldie
can't remember.
Jester.
Yeah.
Something.
The old
That's
jester.
Yeah.
Ye oldie jester. Very, very good place. Well, I'll definitely, if they do come back, I'll send word. You need to be careful.
You
And
too.
Granny, you seem
Yes.
kind of like cool. Like, the skulls on the walls and you've got the like amethyst keeping you safe and stuff. You seem kind of battle worn. Like,
Yes.
what can you do?
certainly.
Like, what skills do you have? Like, are you gonna be okay, number one? And then number two, if you want to teach me anything, that would be cool. And number three, did you say you never got married? Because I also hope to never marry, so that's really cool. And thank you for the hot chocolate, Granny. Thank you very much.
Well, may I demonstrate what I'm capable of? Are you willing?
Yes.
She touches you on the forehead, and Muck, you collapse back into your chair, and to all intents and purposes, you look dead.
How does it feel?
You are blinded and incapacitated. Your speed is 0. You have resistance to all damage except psychic.
I'm feigning death.
I remember when she did that to the mailman.
You've never seen her do this. Sorry, Seth.
No, I know, it's fine.
This is like when you find out your grandma used to be in like the Hells Angels or something.
I have fully taken out a diamond and I'm like ready to like revivify defibrillator Muck.
She pats your hand. It's fine, it's fine. Waves her other hand, and Muck, you.
I'm picturing this as like, I don't know precisely the relationship you had with her when you were young, but just like, Em won't go to sleep.
Feign death.
Yeah, that's
only
why Em
lasts an
doesn't
hour.
remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
that would
have
be
some-
that would be the blindness, deafness, and the silence that Muse could also cast. No, you do, thinking back now, you do remember a time when an old man collapsed in the middle of the market square, and Muse hurried over, touched him, and he seemed to be absolutely fine.
But this is arcane magic.
It is.
Interesting.
I, as you said, Muck, have had some interesting experiences of my own in my own youth. Similar to, if I'm not mistaken, what your friend Blurta might be familiar with. Although I believe our patrons will be quite different.
You are the sharp one, as they say.
Certainly. I sharpen my horns too. I'm perfectly fine in melee range. Don't need to worry about me.
I need to apologize for 2 things, Granny Muse. First of all, for lying at the start when I said that we were here for a not dangerous reason, and then Em came clean.
Obviously,
I'm really sorry. Also, I'm really me as player has lost my train of thought.
That was your first.
okay.
That was your first apology. What was your second apology?
Yeah, and also, on our way here, honestly, I was pretty concerned that Em's grandma might be in danger, and that we might be putting you in more danger. Honestly, it seems like you are a danger in a good way, and I respect that, and I'm sorry. I shouldn't have underestimated you.
Well, don't do it again, and I'll accept your apology. You seem
Deal.
like a lovely young man.
Thank you.
He was just looking out for me and our friends, and it's just a protection thing.
Very good. I mean, that's what you need, isn't it?
Friends.
Exactly.
So on the subject of in the interest of keeping things safe, it sounds like we have some noises and disappearing people to investigate.
I think so.
And we might meet some of those people who are after you. Might be something completely different. Either way, something needs fixing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the hot chocolate, by the way. You never said you had the coolest grandma in the world.
Well, everyone thinks they have the coolest grandma in the world.
Honestly, I've only ever met one grandma, so that's kind of disingenuous coming from me. Like, there are people who are biologically grandmas where I come from, but like, we don't really have that social construct of that relationship. It's a bit more diffuse. So this is really special. Thank you. I feel honored.
I mean, for context, like one of my grandmas refused to speak to one of her nephews for like 2 years because he set out the forks wrong for cake one time. So definitely an improvement.
You don't even want to get into mine. We don't have to do that.
Well, I'm very glad to have met you all. Be safe. Be careful. Come back here if you want some more hot chocolate. I will send a message to the old jester if the neighbors come back. I assume you don't want me to have a word with them.
Probably not.
Very good. Then I will let you handle everything yourself until you decide you need some help. And there's nothing wrong with needing help, Emerald.
Yeah, I know.
Just reminding you.
And are we all heading out the door at this point?
I assume so.
I will be last out the door, and then turn to her and be like, I think my mum's around. I think she's looking after me. And then I'll just wander off before she responds.
Okay.
So
it's not until you're almost to the neighbor's house that you hear the door softly close. And that's where we're going to pick up after the break. So, let's do 5 minutes if that's all right with people.
Awesome.
Yep.
Back at 8:47, folks. See you soon. Bye.
Oh dear. I'm sorry to tell you this, Katanga, but I'm afraid that this misery high bluff you keep talking about has just been a figment of your imagination.
Can Katanga make an insight check?
Absolutely. Do you want me to roll deception?
No point, because that was a natural 1.
Well, if I notice this mid smooch, can I flick my tongue out for a quick taste?
Sure. Make a sleight of hand check, I guess.
What is
Sleight
with
of
your
tongue.
characters and tasting things?
Mate, we've talked about these these body image issues, and like you can't be comparing yourself to like refreshing beverage cunt of all people.
Most of the fleas, because I assume Dream isn't actually being all that careful.
No.
So a lot of the fleas do manage to like jump ship. And
They're fleed.
I don't know what happens if you pour bleach on a flea. They might be fine.
It might disintegrate, I don't know.
Yeah.
Google it.
What happens when you bleach a flea?
Live Psychom coming straight at you.
Look, Psychom's just being... Okay, so...
That name.
So when the Sex Muskets sing, "God save the Queen," do they
Yeah.
actually literally?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're quite sincere. A fascist regime, which we approve of.
It's
I
the,
called out with my own deep throaty alarm call as well.
What are you doing down here?
Oh, we're just taking a shortcut. Just traffic.
We're fumigating for sewer clowns here. You can't be here.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I've been called worse, but you better shut your mouth.
We all know the real sewer clown is Elon Musk and his tunnels, so... Kick me off Twitter, Elon, I dare you.
So, Boomslang will disguise himself as Reginar and be Big Spoon.
Okay.
I got you, buddy.
So we cut to a scene where this Yuan-Ti, this snake person, is spooning a pudding angel.
No. Snake person disguised as a halfling.
Yes. Oh, you're even bigger a spoon than I remember.
Yeah, I just I just have that energy.
Delightful. Angel delightful. And then we fade to
Oh, is
black.
that your full name?
Fade to black of spooning.
I don't want to miss a thing.
So you see in the room Eridark Ariesis, who is a pallid elf fighter gunslinger. Do I have guns? Do I fuck? You,
I mean, they have testes that produce sperm, but they don't have testicles.
They don't have
Okay.
little dangly guys.
No,
hello,
yeah.
everyone.
Please guess what we were talking about. That doesn't have testicles, but does have testes. And right, we are back in the street outside of M's grandmother's house. She also doesn't have testicles, but hey,
We know.
M didn't know she was a warlock, so who knows. Right. You wanted to maybe go and take a peek at the neighbor's house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And they're not home, are they?
They do not appear to be.
As far as we know, no. As far as we know, they're still in Elmsford on their way back.
As we were leaving Granny Muse's house, yeah, Nimbo would have I would wanted to just like put my arm around M's shoulder, like that. Thanks for letting us into this bit of your life. Your grandma's amazing. You know, with someone like that in your life, no surprise you turned out like you did. And I'm gonna just bump you with some guidance, just in case.
She's pretty awesome. She's
Yeah,
always been there for me.
Makes the best hot chocolate.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
Nimbo still has a like rum and marshmallow moustache. Except because his mouth is probably relatively big compared to the cup. It's probably like a
the cup was an appropriate size for you.
Oh, great. Okay, yeah, then he's got a full star.
Everything.
There you go.
She seemed to have had like a chair and a mug and a spoon for someone of your size.
Next time we go, I want a mug that was the same size as your mug.
Are there any people like me or like me or Muck's size in your family? Because that's a comfiest chair I've seen in a while.
It's just me and Granny.
She's just a very thoughtful person.
She does like she likes to entertain. Doesn't happen often, but when she does, she'll pull out the stops.
So I know you like your secrets, but so you mentioned like when we first met, and there was some kind of drama there, and that's not something you've filled us in on in detail.
Well, I think it's fairly obvious to say that she's my granny, not my grandmother, and I don't even remember how long ago it's been. I came down from the mountains and she took me in when I was at my lowest.
But insofar as you seem to imply that you were being hunted back then also.
Yes, yeah.
But like the same source but different like mercenaries, I suppose.
I don't know.
Guess that's something we've got to find out.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's just a coincidence and that something else is happening. But yeah, I will try to be more open. You've seen an important part. It'll maybe take some time, but I'll try.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And, you know, we were just in the Temple of Thorea, so now there's no better time than any. But there's no better time than this to think about the balance between sharing, privacy, honesty, and respect.
And
maybe like, go on, Blatter.
I was just going to say, like, if I think there's something that might be useful to know, I'll ask you, and then you can just tell me fuck off if that is like how you want to play it.
Oh, fuck off's an option?
I mean, I might take vengeance on you later for the fuck off, but you can say it.
Cool, deal.
I appreciate the out, but I'll try to be as honest as I can. Sorry, Mark.
No, I was gonna say, like, you know, maybe get a little bit hyped, you know, like we're all gonna be champions, I guess. I feel like that's the thing that's happening. So maybe it's time for you to like get godded up, like kind of tune in to the heavenly vibes and whatnot. I don't know, extra protection might be nice.
It really warms Nimbo's heart to hear that.
No, like which one would you think would be speed? So
Chaos. I mean, actually, you do be breaking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You do enjoy a little bit of shattering.
I don't enjoy it. It just has.
You could be agriculture and famine.
No, thank you.
Well, because of your on and off veganism.
I mean, I was just being silly, but that is a great shout.
I think I've moved on from the vegetarianism. I don't think that's sustainable.
It was difficult seeing you vomit so much.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
not
pretty
good for
weird.
my teeth.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, you've got to go with what feels natural.
Mm. Like,
That's
yak meat.
rule number 36 of the Vias playbook.
Are there 11? Are there 11 or 12 gods total? Was it?
There are 11.
Okay, so I have all of them. That's okay then.
Yes, yes.
And
It's all right.
insofar as you mentioned gods, I don't trust them.
I will actually offer like a rare, like, oh, interesting. Like, because Blurter doesn't trust them either, but she's just like, oh, that'll just get me lectured at if I say that out loud. So,
I mean, my god's literally a criminal, so yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, well, trust and faith aren't necessarily the same thing. All right, let's check out this neighbor's house.
Yeah, let's do it.
As you walk towards the neighbor's house, further back into the city, and you notice the cats seem to be sort of trying to push you backwards towards the road out.
What is it? Where do you want to go? You want to leave?
This is the road that you walked into the city on 12 years ago.
I'll look up the road.
Goes off into the mountains.
We'll get to that. We don't need to go yet. You said it's not danger. You said we're not in trouble.
They seem annoyed, but they'll let it go.
Okay, you all sit in your mood.
were you talking to there?
I'm talking to the cats.
Do we know about the cats? I can't remember.
You know how I need to... Well, you don't know that I need to. You know how I break things?
Yes. That has not escaped my attention.
It's because of the cats. They give me some abilities. I need to keep them happy, and they're trying to get me to leave, aren't you? And we can't do that yet. We have things to do.
6 pairs of claws just latch onto your legs as you say you're trying to get me to leave.
Yes, you've made it very clear. I'm not going yet.
Can I Arcana check this?
Yeah.
21.
Okay. Even with a 21, this isn't like something that is familiar to you. So it's more like putting together from what M tells you. M seems to be haunted by ghost cats that seem to give M some kind of power. And that now have also started communicating with M.
Okay, so
But this isn't an ordinary or a commonplace thing that's happened.
So
it happens a lot.
I mean, it sounds like it's like a tiny mini version of like what I've got going on. It's like I have a genie, you have 3 dead cats or something.
I don't know that they're dead.
Or like not alive in the traditional sense, at least.
I've always thought of them as, well, kind of what Nimbo alluded to earlier about the balance, that there's the good, the bad, and the neutral.
They're just antimatter cats.
No, they like to cause chaos, but they also like to push in a direction, which is information I'm only just picking up on.
Where did you get them from anyway?
Fine. I will like kind of shake my sleeve down and show the bangle that I'm wearing. I found this along the way, and again, it felt like I needed it. It felt like it was mine.
So it wasn't like you made an arrangement with them. They just kind of came with that thing.
They're just here. I didn't. And I just know that if I don't push something off of a high shelf, or if I don't leave a small animal out in the sun, then their help will fade. And I don't want that.
The only thing I can say is whoever created this item was clearly a brilliant, talented, and handsome person.
It seems that way. I enjoy what it does. We should probably get out of this current view. We're not leaving yet.
Are we literally halfway between Grandma's house and the neighbour's house?
Yeah,
let's get to the neighbour's house, guys.
We should it's daytime, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
maybe
it's like mid-morning.
Maybe we should just do a quick drive-by,
Yeah.
You know,
One
have
step to the
a
left,
quick
look in the
eyeball,
window. Yeah.
and then keep walking past and head into town, and then then we can follow up with the Crown's Guard, or get Granny to introduce us to some of her friends in Cold Stare.
Old school.
Cold Sprawl.
I don't know that I don't know that I want to implicate my granny in this at all. And
all right, we can keep it clean.
Yeah, if we go via the Crest Guard, I think at least at first and see what happens.
That makes sense.
Can I just perception check this house as we go by it at least?
Do you want to cast? Did
I'll
someone want to cast the detect magic as well again, or?
I don't have it. I don't have it until short rest.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything particularly useful in this situation.
Perception check works.
Available as a ritual right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna perceive.
Nah, 9.
I believe Muck was helping you, so roll with that.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna roll physical for the second one. Worse.
Oh.
18.
18 for Nimbo. Okay. The house seems to be. It's an ordinary row house, similar to its neighbors. The garden is a lot less well maintained than Granny Muse's. The doors and the windows, the windows seem to have grates in front of them, so you wouldn't be able to climb in through one without removing the grate. The doors are very solid and look newer than the rest of the house.
I don't think we want to try and get in here without knowing more.
Completely agree, and definitely not without the cover of darkness.
Absolutely.
Someone's been putting together a safe house.
I mean, we can get in, but yes, I agree.
It's their turf on their terms. Let's keep moving.
Agreed. We'll come back blurted though.
Oh yeah. I'm just stating that nothing they appear to have here is that difficult to bypass with what we have.
No, we can see, but
yeah, we don't know enough.
I can just fireball through the window.
Yeah, that's we don't. No, we don't need that.
At this point, Muck picks up Blur, puts her over the shoulder, and we start walking.
So, Blurter, maybe you might enjoy a trip to the Temple of Chaos. I know you're not into gods. I know you're not into gods, but
I was joking. I
would. It might be an interesting piece of cultural tourism for you.
I mean, I do like her vibe, I will say that. But
that's how it starts.
I fist bump Muck.
You're saying that enthusiastically, but I would have thought that you would consider her the worst one.
Why?
Wasn't
destruction is part of the cycle of the universe. It's part of the inherent essence of life and being and matter, and
Yes, but also wasn't she like implicated somehow in the first earthquake?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
So
Right?
not the earthquake
Guilty.
directly, but the Titan
Yeah, the
was
Titan was
one
a
of
Titan
her
of power,
allies.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was one of her allies
Yeah.
in the war between the gods, which was all of the gods against Chaos.
Shall we?
Now that I think about it, like destruction is part of the cycle of life and death, and also the type of destruction that chaos embodies sometimes gets to the point where it disrupts the balance, because almost all the deities, deity of justice and criminals, deity of life and kind of the cycle of death and decay, balance of light and dark. But chaos, maybe she's missing something. I don't know. It doesn't seem to have that balance.
So she's not also the goddess of creation.
I haven't
Not
seen her
from what any
create
of you know.
anything.
I mean, she creates like piles of rubble. That's a thing.
It's true.
Also, I do just want everyone to know that when I picture the War of the Gods, that scene in Disney's Hercules where Hades is sending his titans to Mount Olympus and are walking in the wrong direction. That's what I picture.
Shall we head for the Crest Guard then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, if at any point we happen to pass, I believe I mentioned it briefly in passing, somewhere that does like glass like jewelry, or specifically makes glass jewelry. I want to pop in there.
Okay. Yeah, there is definitely actually make an investigation check. There is definitely a shop, whether or not you find it immediately on your walk. Yes, you do. Yeah, so the slightly hipstery, eccentric area, like shops that are in the North Ward, you do find like a glass blower, basically. It seems to not necessarily specialize in jewelry, but they do make glass jewelry.
Okay, so I'm just gonna pop in here quickly if you don't mind.
Sure. What are you doing?
Yeah, make it quick, but yeah.
Yeah, just a very quick thing. So I pop in, and is there like a shop?
Yeah, there's, yeah.
So I've approached
artisan.
I approached the artisan and just like, okay, so this is a bit of a random request. I have here a jar of ash. Could you sort of make that into like, set it inside like a glass bead? It's like a memento or something for a friend.
Sure, I can do that. How soon do you need it?
But what sort of timescales do you work in?
A couple of days.
We're probably likely to still be around in a couple of days, or at least be coming back this way. So,
I mean, you're welcome to pick it up later. Just
I'll do that.
Deposit.
Yeah, what's a deposit?
Well, for something like this, say half up front, 50 gold.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wonderful. Appreciate your business. And yeah, be ready for you in a couple of days.
Thank you much.
Have a nice day. And then on to the Crest Guard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the Crest Guard office is also in the North Ward. So pretty much around the corner from the shop Lorta went into. Inside, you can see it is relatively busy, especially compared to the only other Crest Guard office you've been in, which is the one in Siren, which just had one employee. Here, there seems to be quite a few Crest Guard, some of them like career Crest Guard, so not sort of teenagers, but 40, 50-year-olds who are looking over a map of the city. Seems to have been marked up in various places. Most of those marks in the Cold Sprawl district. Poring over this map, there is also a dwarven woman who seems to bear sort of the captain's markings. Looks up as you enter. Hello, welcome. I'm Captain Marston.
I
You must be
pull out
new in town.
my little thingy.
Yeah, badge.
It's just we happened to be in the town and had heard there were some troubles in the Cold Sprawl, and perhaps we might offer our assistance.
Certainly. It's much appreciated. You're not here on Crestguard business already, then?
Yes, in a long-winded sort of way.
One of those. I got you. Right, what are your names?
Are we giving out?
What are you good at?
I'm-
On you go.
Yes, I am Lady Blood von Mandragore. I'm good at blowing shit up.
So? Yourselves?
Nimbo
I don't know if I
Thunderchild.
want to tell her. Go on.
Hi, I'm Nimbo. I can channel a little bit of magic.
I'm
Blowing shit up type or the something else?
Little from column A, little from column B.
Alright. Multi-talented.
my name is Muck, and I can hit things twice in 6 seconds.
Sometimes 4 times.
Yes.
Oh yeah, got limber up.
Working your way up to 6.
She pats the battle axe, which is strapped to her back. Me too. Always good to have more of our kind around. And last but not least, I assume?
I'm Jade.
And are you good at something, or?
I don't really know.
Okay, well, I mean,
has many talents, just quite modest.
right. That's not going to help me figure out where you're best used
Well,
in an investigation into 8 missing people.
well, we all come as a group package deal.
Yes, but I still need to know what you're all good at, so I know where you. Right.
I mean, to be like, I should also qualify. In addition to being good at blowing stuff up, I'm also good at acrobatics, arcana, deception, history, investigation, perception.
Never have asked. Right, you're all very talented. Complete recent grads. Right, here's the situation. We've got 8 missings, all in Cold Sprawl. Now, people going missing in Cold Sprawl, usually they turn up after a few days because they've been on a bender, or they've went out into the mountains to find themselves, or went off downriver and decided the big city wasn't for them. You know, ordinary things. This time, it's been months. These people still haven't come back. That's not normal. Couple of them found bits of bloody clothes. Some of them just vanished in thin air. All kinds of people. A couple of visitors. One rich guy who's in the wrong neighborhood, the wrong time of night. Not entirely sure what's happening. Got a couple of teams on it investigating, and even with the mayor's backing, we've not actually been able to make that much progress. Signs dry up real fast.
So there's no pattern at all amongst the missing.
Not that we've been able to find, no. Just seems to be whoever's out alone late at night.
But there are more in Cold Sprawl than anywhere else in Elmsford.
It's only in Cold Sprawl right now. There's no other, mysterious disappearances elsewhere.
How frequent have these been?
2 a month.
Is that
On separate notes?
Yeah.
Has it always been
And-
2 a month, or like is it that's
Well,
just average?
No, for the past 4 months, 2 a month.
Are they
Always one
evenly
on the
spaced out?
Always one on the full moon, The other one was somewhere else within the month.
Okay.
And the two that we found the bloodstained clothing were on the full moon. But
I just raised an eyebrow at that.
I think we all each raised an eyebrow.
Yeah.
We've consulted with all kinds of arcanists. I've sent word back to the capital, but even down to the university in Brindwater, but get nothing for the moment. Nobody seems to know something or someone who'd be capable of doing something like this.
I
So
mean,
weird cults that have sprung up, as far as I can tell. No new criminal gangs muscling in on the Sinless territory. Sinless claim it's nothing to do with them, and can't trust a word they say. But
I mean,
got nothing to prove it's them either.
the spacing suggests some sort of ritualistic element, perhaps.
It's one avenue we're investigating, but we've not found anything that confirms it.
Can Muck do a history check just in her head to see what she knows about blood hunters? Because that's just something that keeps coming up, and I don't fully know the law.
Yes.
I hear the first was a
I need to roll the dice. Sorry. That's an 18.
An 18, okay. With an 18, so blood hunters are very rare. But you've spent some time with M, and you are trained in the martial history. So you would have heard stories of them, even if there aren't blood hunters training at the academy or anything. But you've heard the stories of people who seem to be able to channel something within their own blood into their weapons, as some kind of magic ability. That seems to be similar to when M's claws get laced in frost. You probably would think they're not real if it wasn't for the fact you've seen M do things like that. Yeah.
And
so if there's blood hunters responsible for what's happening right now, it wouldn't be surprising that no one would be able to find out any information based on what's happening, because there's so few of them.
I guess what I was thinking is, okay, the werebear's killing someone every full moon. There's still another death. What if it's the other lady neighbor? So Muck's thought is do blood hunters have to kill people to? Okay, cool.
Not from what you know.
So.
Oh, thank you.
When did they start again? Sorry.
About 4 months ago.
Was that the same time as they moved into the house?
No.
Okay.
No, they've been in the house a couple of months, so.
Okay. So, interesting.
And the earthquake was 3 weeks ago or something?
Yeah, almost a month at this point.
Okay.
Okay. And when was the most recent missing person?
At this point, it would have been about a week ago.
Okay.
And you're getting to the end of the month.
Yeah, because you said the next full moon is in 10 days or something. So
yeah, something like that.
The last
9.
bloody rags killing would have been 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yes, yeah. There's already been 2 deaths this month.
Do we have any? Do we have any of the physical evidence? Any of those?
Sure.
Those rags?
Got all of it. Yeah.
Any chance we could take a look?
Sure. Yeah, it's in the storeroom.
Thanks.
Help yourselves.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
I'll come with you just on the off chance.
Thanks. So what I'd like to do is tear a small strip off the bloody rags. However many sets of bloody rags there are.
There's 2 sets of bloody rags.
I will tear a small strip off each and pop them in separate pouches that are like contained that
Mhm.
won't pollute the smell.
Blurta's got a lot of vials. If you
I
want
do
to
have a lot of vials.
Yeah, we'll pop them in a couple of vials.
Yes.
Because the crystalline structure of the glass will stop any kind of chemical exchange between the thing and the evidence and the material.
Have a nerd dice.
Thank you. It was not my finest, but
It's the first science fact we've had.
yeah, we have been slipping slightly this episode.
Well,
There was a lot of tender moments. It's okay.
So
facts.
So having stolen a small amount of each of these rags, what other evidence is there?
Before we move on from the rags, do these rags look like? Are there anything that could be sort of delineated about, sort of forensically, about what has stripped them off the
investigation check, please?
Guidance.
Check. There you go.
Yeah, no one seems to be bothering you in the back room. Does someone else
17.
17. So they, with a 17, investigating both sets of torn clothing, they seem to have been made by different types of claws.
Interesting.
As you make that observation, that was something that kind of ties into something that I was really worried about. Because what if the one a month that isn't getting ripped to shreds on a full moon is being turned?
Or worse, multiple people are being turned.
Well, that's what I mean. They're being turned and recruited.
Oh, okay, yes, you're in a call.
Yes, and we're dealing with several people who share my gift.
So, to my mind, the thing we should consider here is they were talking about like scuttling along roofs and scratching at walls and stuff. That was mentioned, I believe, at some point. That doesn't sound like a werebear to me.
That's what I mean. I think we're talking about a whole menagerie of werefolk.
But also, if there are multiple different species involved, my understanding from what Em was relaying earlier, I'm going to assume, was that like you infect, like a lycanthrope infects like for like. So a werebear can't make a were-lion, or vice versa.
I mean, it's what happened to me, bear to bear.
I don't think I would have inferred that.
Well, I thought you were like monologuing off a lot of detail, but if you didn't, then
yeah. But that wasn't something that Dagmar mentioned, was it? Like for like.
No, but it is accurate.
I mean,
from what I would have read.
And in the only incidents of transmission that we have seen firsthand, that's how it worked.
Is there any way with that whatever I rolled that was pretty decent, get an idea about the shape of the claws that made them, or the like?
With the 17, yeah, you would probably. How much time has Blurta spent around wild animals?
I would say not necessarily that much, but she's probably spent a lot of time around books about wild animals.
Okay. Yep. In that case, I would say. Actually, no. Make a nature check.
Okay.
Whilst you're rolling that, I was just thinking that Blitter's reading like those kind of old marginalia drawings of like someone who's never seen a lion before.
Yeah, nat 20.
This is why nat 20. Okay, this is why I'm asking for the nature check. Yeah, with a nat 20, absolutely. One of them looked more like the claws might have been talons, some kind of bird. The other one, at second glance, possibly not even claws, possibly tusks.
I relay that information to Nimbo. I will science fact this. I've got a terrible feeling I've done this before, but like, so for instance, there's a particular image online which has a load of like predator talons on next to each other, sort of placed up, and you would think stuff like grizzly bears and polar bears would be the biggest. I mean, the grizzly bear, yes. Polar bear, not actually so much. The scariest ones are when you look at like the large eagle claws. Like a harpy eagle claw is basically the same size as a grizzly bear claw. And like cat claws are actually relatively short because they're protractable. So they need to be able to go back inside.
Have a nerd dice.
Yeah, cool.
Can I add another one in there as well? Just
Of course.
I mentioned the kind of marginalia drawings, and thinking along those lines of like, Lurta's never seen a lion or whatever. That a lot of that kind of medieval drawing that appeared in the side notes alongside text in old manuscripts was part of that feeling of like the world turned upside down that was very popular in medieval times. So things like when pigs might fly, which is still a modern phrase, was them turning the world upside down. Pigs don't look up, that sort of idea, which is not true either. But also that was just something that was very much consistent amongst them. So you'll see like lots of imagery of animals playing musical instruments as a way of saying the world is completely different from what we expect it to be. I just find it really interesting. And especially, I especially love the one of just like a tree with loads of dicks on it.
And that kind of approach really speaks to one of the fundamental theories of one of the early fundamental theories of comedy, which is the theory of incongruity, where you zig and then you zag, and that difference between expectation and reality is the funny thing. So like if you've ever seen a video of someone doing a magic trick for an ape, and like they see that the hand comes back and there's no ball in it, and the ball has completely disappeared, and the ape not just looks amazed but laughs, and that's that incongruity.
That just reminds me of the thing I saw literally yesterday, where it's like, I think it was like Peru, and they'd been airing some Star Wars movies in the early 2000s. And for some reason, the advertisers decided instead of having adverts, they would literally like cut like their adverts into the film. So it's like I'll send you the link afterwards. But there's literally like the scene where like Luke's meeting Obi-Wan for the first time. It's like, yes, I knew your father. He would want you to have this. And then he reaches into this cabinet and pulls out this like refreshing crystal beer to Luke.
Better than having to listen to Hayden Christensen say, "I hate sand."
Yeah.
Nothing is better than that, Sam. Right.
So what evidence is there other than rags?
Lurta, yes, that was the question. Other than the rags, there isn't a whole lot. Because it seems most of these disappearances are literally just people vanishing into thin air.
Okay. But I'm very happy with our scraps of rags. Let's head back.
Em and Muck, what would you have been doing?
Playing the cup
Captain
game.
Marston's just... Okay, you're just sitting on the floor playing the cup game. Muck?
Probably be asking Captain Marston about like battle stories of like what the kind of vibe is in the general area. Do you see lots of action, or is it kind of calm? It's busy here. Why is it so busy?
Because 8 people have gone missing in the past 4 months, and we haven't been able to find them yet. Yeah. It's usually not too busy in the city. I mean, normal city problems, but it's not nearly the size of Lishold, or Brynwater for that matter. So, nothing quite as interesting here as the Citadel.
Play with the cups, and again, not looking up, just going, if 8 people have gone missing, and that is such a big importance for here in Elmsford, why hasn't there been more said of that in the Golden Isle? Because it's not information we've heard of before.
Well, we've already got auxiliary forces come in. We've got extra help.
But they haven't
I mean,
found
you're not going
anything.
to send all the Crest Guard down.
Yeah.
Besides, it's poor people. I mean, rich don't really care.
It sounds like the mayor does.
Yeah.
He's been more helpful than I might have expected.
What do we know about
Well,
the
you
mayor?
said
Well, glad you found those rags. He's been mayor for about half a year. Always thought before that he was eccentric man. Heard he throws these great big hunting parties, up in the mountains, but also down in the hills as well, and even on the river sometimes. Heard he's got people out looking for a plesiosaur he believes someone saw. Don't think there's anything true about that, but you didn't ask me.
As you mentioned the hunting parties, I dig my own claws into my paw.
No, I mean, I've met him. Seems decent enough for a noble. Yeah. Not sure what more there is to tell. Let me do my job. I'll let him do his.
Well, it's good to know that he's helping. Sorry, Mark.
yeah, no, it's all right. If we get Marsden to describe the mayor, it doesn't match anyone we saw in the hunting party on the river, does it?
No.
Okay,
They
all right.
directed
We've not
us-
already
it was
pissed
the
him off.
mayor, I believe.
No.
Cool. All right, perfect.
No, those seem to have been like people who've been hired, basically. Right. I've just can I ask, is there anything Gresgard can do to help you on your long, protracted, complicated reasons why you're visiting? Appreciate the help and cold sprawl, any information you can dig up, but if there's anything we can do.
We might be heading up into the mountains later. Is there anything we should be wary of? Any specialist equipment we're gonna need? Any threats you've heard of up there?
Maps you can provide, perhaps?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
Maps.
Alex?
Maps.
Well, there's a couple specialist stores. Could be worth having a look at. I believe there's one. There's one in Gloomstare, and another one in Spirit Valley. She tells you where they are. I'll be able to help you out with maps and equipment. As for threats, there's the usual mountain things. Some people say they've seen a dragon recently, but I don't think that's entirely true. There is a lot of flying stuff. Depends on who you ask. Gold, green, purple, invisible, dead. People make up stories.
Dragon. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, there's some more across the border with Toberg, but there are some giants still up there. Probably don't want to get in a spat with them. Heard they can be a bit foul-tempered. But again, that's across the border.
Okay.
And there's people, of course, but
yeah. Do you get many border patrols? How concrete are these
lots in
borders?
the mountains. There's a few villages up there, but we send people out to go and check on them. They send word if they need help, but we generally
we're not
people in the
cause
villages like to be left alone.
So we're not going to cause a diplomatic incident. We go up there.
Probably not. Don't know what Toberg's up to, but if they were going to invade us again, they wouldn't be going through the mountains. That'd be real dumb.
What about people who look like me?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, there's occasional ones who come in. Tend to be a bit more nomadic, though, don't you?
Yeah.
Don't think you hold much with borders, from the little I know.
No, they don't matter. They're not important.
In the mountains, it certainly seems to be true.
Can't draw lines in the snow.
Not really, no.
Releases that album later.
You know where to find us if you do need anything more, and or if you find anything about these missing folks. Appreciate the help.
We'll be sure to keep you posted.
Yep.
Mayor's put a reward up as well, so if you do find something.
Blurta's eyebrow raises.
Audibly.
Well, thank you.
She
Peace.
shows you on the map that the other patrols were looking at earlier. They're heading out the door themselves. She shows you the locations where HQ went missing.
We've absolutely scribbled down these locations.
I will get you a map with these locations marked, and the two shops that she mentioned as well. She sees you off as you make your way out of the North Ward, and down towards Cold Sprawl. This is where we're going to pick up next week.
Good session, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. Would you like to pick an MVP?
Granny.
Who got? Honestly,
Did I get it?
Granny gets an inspiration prize.
Who got it last time?
It
Blurted
was
it.
Blurter.
Blurted
Yeah.
this for being the
Blurter.
least fuck up of us all.
Yeah.
And until I pointed out right as everyone was about to leave that Blurta did actually fuck up with the hags, and none of you were just aware of it. And then you all wanted to take it away again.
Yeah. How about M for the
M's
message for
hug.
the granny? Yeah.
Mm,
M's hug.
seconded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that role playing.
There was some good stuff happening. Definitely a lot less action packed than the past two sessions, which I think you deserved.
Yeah.
And now you've got some disappearances to solve.
On the plus side, we've got multiple choices on who to give to the hags. It's great.
Yeah. Those hags are getting more than they bargained for.
Yeah, it's like we didn't know which one we'd like. Do you want to make it large or extra large?
Yeah.
Yeah, what if we bring them two? Will we get something for that?
Only one way to find out.
Oh goodness.
Took the words out of my mouth.
All right. Yeah, no, it just means you get an extra disappointed god. Nimbo.
What if Nimbo just stays behind and looks the other way? Well, we do it.
It all doesn't mind. I
Inaction
could
is
definitely.
complicity.
Given it's Nimbo's deal, I don't know if that would make a difference, Alex.
Yeah, also, like, that is still a conscious choice.
Yeah, it is.
What if we don't tell you?
And Nimbo's not the one completing the deal.
Yeah.
So then you're just handing people to hags for no reason.
Also, like, that's such warlock thinking, being like, I'll find a loophole. Clerics being like,
Yeah.
I have my duty. I shat my bed. I must lie in it.
Warlocks are just like warlocks are like the living incarnation of that like meme about like all those other people die from the gods because of their hubris, but I'm not like them. I'm better, maybe better than the gods. Like,
Yeah.
just warlocks.
Yeah. All right. No, that was a very enjoyable session. Remember, folks, we will be back live at 7 p.m. on Friday with 4 octopuses escaping from their tanks in an undisclosed location, possibly space. So do be sure to tune in for Rogue Octopus Escapes. I said it correct twice. And go to our Tiltify as well and donate us some money if you can for the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. And those are our announcements. We'll be back with Witness Ruin on Sunday, next week Sunday. Have a great week, folks, and we'll see you soon. Good night.